Welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Stella Inamiti, and my sign language interpreter is Courage Ogieraki. Let's begin with the headlines. St. Lucia honors President Tinubu with highest national award of the land. EcoPal takes steps in advancing digital transformation in the sub-region's education sector. Plus, Thailand suspends Prime Minister. Thanks for joining us. President Bola Tinubu has been honored with the highest national award in St. Lucia of Knight Commander of the Order of St. Lucia. Governor General of St. Lucia, Cyril Errol Charles, conferred the honor on President Tinubu for his role in establishing formal relations with his country and members of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. State House correspondent Musbah Dan Wahab reports.
The government of St. Lucia chose a way, the highest one, to appreciate President Bola Tinubu for his unprecedented decision to rekindle the bond of unity with their country and strengthen ties with the Eastern Caribbean nations. A step that resets the relations between brothers separated by distance. Knights Commander of the Order of St. Lucia is the highest national honor in the land. This is an appreciation of the closer relations imminent for the peoples of both countries.
The black race is not a lazy race. It's a hard-working, honest people. Given the opportunity, we can excel.
President Tinubu says the visa waiver, technical aid, and scholarship for students announced are not just promises but an expression of commitment to forge a mutually beneficial relations.
Particularly to improve in our connectivity, to improve in our business opportunity, to be more creative in future together, to see that the yoke that is left behind our fathers by our forebears of separation is shortened, to see that we can resume cultural exchanges and believe in economic development.
St. Lucia and the OECS, our heritage, part of our heritage lies in Africa, and we are proud of it. We want to develop it, and we want to ensure that the people of these two regions get closer together, because Africa and the region can be one and must be one.
We are also proud to note that some of our famous nationals contributed to the development of your country in the early years of transition from colonial rule to independent sovereign power.
And as the night falls on Mount Fortune, the leaders hope this step opens a new chapter of fortune to smile on their peoples. In Castries, St. Lucia, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria and St. Lucia have taken significant steps to deepen diplomatic relations at a high-level meeting on the sidelines of President Bola Tinubu's state visit to the Caribbean nation. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, held discussions with St. Lucia's Minister for External Affairs, International Trade, Civil Aviation and Diaspora Affairs, Alva Romanus Baptiste, to explore avenues for enhanced cooperation. In a statement by his media aide, Al-Qasim Abdulkadir, Tuga welcomed the imminent formalization of full diplomatic relations between the two countries. Tuga proposed a structured partnership between Nigeria's Technical Aid Corps, and St. Lucia's Political and Economic Cooperation Development Division to facilitate knowledge exchange and capacity building. Additionally, he emphasized the importance of education, advocating for increased scholarship opportunities, academic exchanges, and joint research initiatives to foster stronger people-to-people connections. Tuga highlighted Nigeria's interest in expanding trade and investment with St. Lucia, particularly in sectors such as tourism, renewable energy, ICT, agriculture, and manufacturing. The meeting marks a pivotal step in strengthening Nigeria-Caribbean relations, with both nations poised to unlock new opportunities in diplomacy, trade, and sustainable development. Chinese investors have reaffirmed commitment to deepen economic ties with Ghana through industrialization, infrastructure, and technology. A 5-day Ghana-China Business Summit held in Accra provided a platform for Ghanaian and Chinese businesses to engage in purposeful dialogue, share ideas, and forge strategic partnerships.
The 2025 Ghana-China Business Summit brought together Chinese delegation, ministers of state, captains of industry, government officials, and Chinese state-owned enterprises to explore areas of mutual benefits. The summit themed Enhancing Security and Infrastructure for Investment. Opportunities for Ghana-China collaboration aims to deepen bilateral trade and unlock new economic areas in infrastructure, technology, and industrialization. With the implementation of Ghana's 24-hour economy agenda, the country is poised to become a major economic hub in Africa and attract destination for investors.
We're dealing with the ministries in China and we're trying to bring more technologies, more settlements, more manufacturing sectors here, and with the support to the bank.
Speaking at the closing ceremony, the Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Debra, encouraged Chinese investors to tap into Ghana's unique opportunities to make the country a true industrial hub for Africa.
You know what I like about what I'm just seeing? The well-adorned Ghanaian costume. What it tells us is that they are here to stay. For business executives to stop all you're doing just to be part of this program tells us that the Ghanaian business community is also poised to be successful.
He commended participants for their participation in the 2025 Ghana-China Business Summit and assured for a better version of the summit next year.
Guardian opposition leader and former Prime Minister Success Masra has been in detention since mid-May has ended his hunger strike after a week of fasting. Kolo Mohammed has details.
The former Chadian opposition leader, described as physically weakened but morally combative, is suspending his food strike and will re-prepare for the rest of the procedure. His doctor, who was able to visit his bedside and consult with him, strongly recommended that he suspends the difficult and painful decision, especially since the medication he must take requires aid. About 20 women demonstrated in their undergarments demanding the release of their leader. Masra, arrested on 16th May, announced his hunger strike last Tuesday in a letter made public by his lawyers. He has been prosecuted for incitement to hatred and revolt formation, as well as complicity of armed gangs, murder, arson, and desecration of graves. In other news, more than 130 charities and other non-governmental organizations are calling for the controversial Israeli and U.S.-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation to be shut down. Over 500 Palestinians have been killed while seeking aid since the foundation started operating in late May, following Israel's 3-month blockade of Gaza. The organization said almost 4,000 others have been injured. The organizations, including Oxfam, Save the Children, and Amnesty, say Israeli forces and armed groups routinely open fire on Palestinians seeking aid. Israel denied its soldiers deliberately shoot at aid recipients and has defended the foundation, saying it provides direct assistance to people who need it by passing Hamas's interference. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
Thailand has suspended the Prime Minister, who has come under mounting pressure to resign over her leaked phone conversation with former Cambodian leader. Again, Kolo Muhammad tells us more.
The clip released shows Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra calling the former Cambodian leader Hun Sen uncle. Afterwards, she criticized a Thai military commander, which sparked public anger and a petition for her dismissal, which the agency Constitutional Court is considering. This could make Paetongtarn the third politician in the powerful Shinawatra clan, which has dominated Thai politics for the past 2 decades, to lose power before completing their term. Her ruling coalition is already teetering with a slim majority after a key conservative ally abandoned it 2 weeks ago. The Constitutional Court voted 7-2 to suspend her while they consider the case for dismissal, and she has 15 days to present her defense. In the meantime, the Deputy Prime Minister will serve as the country's acting leader. Paetongtarn, however, will remain in the cabinet as Culture Minister, a new appointment following cabinet reshuffle that was endorsed hours before she was suspended. On Tuesday, Paetongtarn apologized again, adding that the purpose of her phone call with Hun Sen was more than 100% for the country. The call was about the border dispute between the two countries. Although it's decades old, tensions have risen again since late May when a Cambodian soldier was killed. The leaked phone call audio angered conservative lawmakers the most, as they accused her of appeasing Hun Sen and undermining Thailand's military. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
Across continents and conservation front lines, women are stepping boldly into the boots of wildlife guardians. They are the unsung heroines, risking, protecting, and leading in some of the most remote and rugged environments on Earth. This week, the global spotlight shines on these remarkable rangers, from patrolling dangerous terrain to leading anti-poaching missions and empowering local communities. They are redefining courage and rewriting the story of conservation as the World Female Ranger Week is marked across the globe. Charles Alpha reports.
In a mostly male-dominated field, these female rangers also risk their lives in a bid to conserve, protect, and preserve Nigeria's biodiversity space in one of the most volatile environments.
My first experience in the field, I worked in Chad Basin National Park, and I went for patrol. And incidentally, it was in Sambisa Forest, and we encountered bandits. Having to balance work and family life, and then dealing with stereotypes from society, because the ranger workforce is male-dominated.
Yet, it is in recognition of their invaluable contributions that the National Park Service and sister security personnel is celebrating the week-long event with the aim of confronting the problems of gender parity and insufficient representation they continue to face. Minister of Women Affairs and that of the Environment all represented, as well as the Conservator General Ibrahim Goni and a host of others believe these female rangers have repeatedly demonstrated their tenacity and passion in wildlife conservation, whether patrolling the parks, conducting vital research, or engaging with local communities, and therefore deserve to be celebrated.
The Ministry of Environment is committed to advancing gender equality, which our environmental policies and practices by implementing training programs, mentorship, opportunities, and inclusive strategy that support women in environmental sustainability.
You are not just watchers of the wild, you are warriors of wonders. With every step, you plant seeds of hope. With every species saved, you rewrite the story of stewardship.
It celebrates the resilience, dedication, and invaluable contributions of women in conservation, particularly within our national parks and other protected areas.
The theme for this year, supporting women, saving biodiversity, resounds deeply with the principles established during the 4th World Conference on Women in Beijing in 1995. which aim to promote gender equality and empower women globally. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International. It's time to take a break. We'll be back with more reports. Stay with us.
I therefore call on my colleagues, or media professionals and editors, to be discerning in their reportage. We must deny these groups the undue publicity they crave. We must take them off the front pages and accurately report them as the criminals that they are, without glorifying their acts or giving credence to their false narratives. These, of course, are not freedom fighters. They are murderers, kidnappers, and destroyers, and they must be presented as such.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. The Parliament of the Economic Community of West African States is taking proactive steps in advancing digital transformation in the sub-region's education sector as key to regional development. This was the first of the Joint Committee meeting on education, culture, health and information technology holding in Dakar, Senegal. ECOWAS Parliament correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
As the world is moving with new models of learning, Africa must also embrace to cope with the demands of contemporary challenges. Seated here are committees of Parliament with Speaker Maimunatu Ibrahima recalling the commitment of ECOWAS Protocol AP 3103 on education and training adopted in Dakar 23 years ago. The aim was to harmonize the educational system and promote excellence across member states.
Riche de cultures diverses et doté d'économies en plein essor, se trouve à la croisée des chemins dans le domaine de l'éducation.
Other stakeholders called for a unified response to digital transformation, reflecting on the region's educational growth.
Even though we know we are ahead of many countries, but innovation is something that changes every day. We will continue to understand, we can also learn from our partners and our colleagues from other countries. This is going to actually let us understand where we are, actually where we are supposed to be. We will continue to evaluate our laws and see how we will continue to be dynamic and change as time goes on. So this is important to our country.
The meeting has the theme, prioritizing education, technology and innovation in the ECOWAS region. It is expected to provide recommendations for adoption across member states. Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Nigeria is collaborating with other African countries to address critical issues bordering on reparation and repatriation of African culture, human and economic heritage. This came to the fore at an engagement by the Senate Committee on Reparation and Repatriation with African ambassadors in Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Issa Mohammed reports.
This is the first time the National Assembly is engaging the diplomats in Nigeria to discuss historical and systemic injustice faced by Africans. President of the Senate, represented by Senate Chief Whip Muhammad Tahiru Mangonu, said the consultation is not only a significant step towards addressing the issue at hand, but also helps to promote cultural preservation, economic growth, and social cohesion.
We cannot rewrite history, but justice is done through restitution, restoration, and reconciliation.
The African Union Summit marked a pivotal moment, affirming that reparation is no longer a fringe discourse, but now central to Africa's collective agenda for justice, recognition, and transformation.
Wish you strength as you take on these important issues
It will be good to have this dialogue with the diplomatic corps, the African diplomatic corps. But more than that, I think you should reach out to your colleagues in the other 54 African countries to dialogue with them on these issues. And also the diaspora.
How can we engage media? Nigeria, very rich, wealthy with creative economy, the creative sector. How can they tell these stories and sell these stories? So it's a whole economy with a lot of value chains. So how ready are we to make sure that you don't just bring these things, but they come to improve our livelihoods?
The committee noted that the era of slavery, colonialism, and continued exploitation had profound impacts on Africans' development, a critical issue that has been overlooked for a period. From the National Assembly, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu says a functional capital city is the foundation upon which a functioning nation is built, noting that the ongoing infrastructure development across the Federal Capital Territory is a testament to his administration's commitment to building an inclusive and thriving Nigeria. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the president stated this when he inaugurated the Collector Road, CN8 Asukwa Way, and other connecting roads in Dakibiu district in Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jabrila reports.
Of July in the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, a rainy day that almost put everything to a standstill was due to the importance of road infrastructure and Abuja city expansion. The newly constructed Connector Road CN8 along Obafemi Awolowo Way has witnessed a presidential inauguration. Awarded in September 2024 with a time frame of 15 months, was completed within 8 months.
We want to also appreciate the users of the road and also the residents of Dakibiu district for their patience throughout the construction period. And our prayer is that this road that we are about to commission will ease movement, would also stimulate socio-economic growth of Dakibiu and FCT at large.
The road is good now. When we wanted to find a land for the construction of the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal, and I was told by the Director of Lands that there was a space. I said, let me go and see the place. Your Excellency, you can't believe that as a city, we could have such terrible, horrible roads. And to the Federal Council, by our support, this contract was awarded last year, September, and we flagged it up October last year. Today, we are commissioning it.
Connecting 4 districts in the FCT of Utako, Jabi, Wuye, and Dakibiu, providing good access to key public and private institutions.
This is renewed hope poured into concrete and paved across kilometers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our vision for Abuja is not limited to its glittering center. We are equally committed to its outskirts, to its margins, to its hidden corners where dreams often struggle to break. Every road we build, every bridge we complete, every community we connect is a prime step towards a more inclusive, more equitable Nigeria.
This is part of the Renewed Hope initiative of the Tinubu administration, as promised, which falls within the completed landmark projects across the FCT to commemorate 2nd anniversary in office. In Abuja, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Empowering West African countries with tools to make data-driven decisions that improve livelihoods and ensure sustainable food systems require intensified efforts in agricultural productivity monitoring, particularly in the face of critical challenges such as food insecurity and climate resilience. This was the central message from stakeholders at the Regional Crop Watch training organized by the National Space Research and Development Agency. Hamad Jabani reports.
The regional training with the theme
The role of Crop Watch ICP in enabling agricultural monitoring and stabilizing food productivity in West Africa aims to promote food security by showcasing the Crop Watch ICP program. It also focuses on sharing satellite-based best practices in agricultural monitoring and fostering regional partnership with technology transfer and capacity building. The National Space Research and Development Agency reaffirms its commitment to supporting all collaborative efforts to end hunger in Nigeria and the wider sub-Saharan Africa.
Because we're a space agency, we see the satellite data, and satellite data give you real-time information. If there's a low crop yield in an area, from the satellite data, you'll be able to see it because it gives you daily revisits.
Saw the opportunity to bring everybody from West Africa to start at the first activity under that regional center, for them to understand that it's not just a regional center for Nigeria, it's a regional center for all the member of West African countries.
The agency, alongside other partners, is driving research in agro-ecosystem mapping for Nigeria and West Africa. The aim is to optimize ecosystem of policy development that support resilient agricultural system.
We want to more young people, young talent from Nigeria over the country to join us, to understand how to use satellite data to monitor the crops.
The momentum is right, and we are on the right path toward improved food security in Africa by 2030 and beyond.
So we want our farmers to manage their farms based on scientific evidence. So satellite data will help our farmers monitor their crop health. They will know where on their farm where there are issues that needs to be addressed.
Food security is one of the greatest challenges of the world in our time. And ANSO is very proud to be a sponsor of this crop ICP program to address the food security issue.
The training represents a major milestone in the collective effort to harness space technology and remote sensing for sustainable agricultural development both in Nigeria and across the West African region. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
We have come to the end of the news. I am Stella Inamiti, and my sign language interpreter is Courage Ugeraki. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to Africa, the land of ancient civilization.